So let's talk about primetime games, right?
Prime time.
Um, so which team deserves the most primetime games?
All right. I've narrowed down my list, and I have eight. I have 8 teams that I think deserve at least more than one primetime game. No, that's a lot.
Well,
8 teams.
okay, I'll go. I'll
But
let you go.
okay. Chiefs, Bills, Jets, Dolphins, Eagles, Niners, Bengals, Jags. I think all of those teams are fun enough and they're going to win enough to deserve at least more than one. And I think, of course, we know there's going to be some teams, the Chiefs are going to get more than one. The Bills are going to get more than one, probably the Jets also in that division. But I think the team that deserves the most primetime games is the Kansas City Chiefs. They just won the Super Bowl. They didn't lose really too many big time. They didn't lose really any big time names besides Frank Clark. And Orlando Brown, if you count him as a big time name. But they still have Travis Kelce. They still have Mahomes, right? Schedule them in all the prime time you can give them. They are fun to watch.
No, I agree with you, and that's what I think. When it comes to primetime games, I think that it should be reserved for the best teams and the teams that are fun to watch. Right? When that's in
Yes.
primetime, like that's the only thing. Like I can't just turn the channel and go to another game because the game I'm watching sucks. Like it has to be a fun and exciting game, a team to make me sit there and watch. Now, granted, I'm going to sit there and watch it anyway because I
Yeah.
love football and I'll do it. But I sit there and watch like, man, this like there were some Thursday night games last year where it was like this is horrible.
Rough.
Like if that was somebody's first time watching football, like they're never going to watch football again. It was
No.
so bad. And so I,
Yes.
I agree. I think it definitely the Chiefs definitely deserve the most because not only how good they are, but because of how exciting they are. Those flashy play, like with the passes and stuff that Mahomes does and what Kelsey does, it's electrifying and it makes it great.
Yes.
Like I just go back to that. I mean, I just think of when I think of Mahomes highlights immediately, I can tell you the primetime games that happened, like the Monday Night Football game against the Broncos when he had that left-handed pass, like that was primetime game. Like the whole world saw that happen, um, and that's just the kind of stuff there on on prime time that need to be there. And the other team that I would say would be the Bengals as well, just because the Bengals are a fun team to watch too. I wouldn't be mad about the Eagles too; they could be fun. I just don't know if they're going to be able to be the same Eagles that they were last year. Whereas we've seen the Chiefs and the Bengals basically be consistent through the past couple of years. And so those are I think who should have the most primetime games based on one being the best and being the most fun to watch.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. And I think this is the first year the NFL came out and said that teams aren't guaranteeing primetime games. Finally, right? If you're boring and bad, don't put them on primetime. Like, do us a favor, NFL.
Do it as a favor. I think there should be some sort of like qualification where you have to earn a spot on prime time. Like if you
Yes.
if you didn't make the playoffs last year, I would struggle to put you in prime time. Like I would really struggle to put you in prime time because most likely you're not going to be good, or you're either going to be playing a really good team and they're just going to kick your butt on prime time, and it's just going to be an unfair, boring matchup. Obviously, you can talk about, well, what about the Carolina Panthers? They have Bryce
Yeah.
Young. Like you're not going to put Bryce Young in prime time. You're not going to put C.J. Stroud or Anthony Richardson in prime time. And I get that. So I mean, I get that because I don't think it's not their fault that their team sucked last year, so they shouldn't play in prime time. But so I'd be okay with definitely limiting. I think there's only one team last year. I forget who it was that didn't have a primetime game. So
Yeah. I
usually,
don't remember.
usually teams have at least one primetime game, and that's where I would definitely draw a line. But I think you should definitely, depending on where you're at in the season, have to forfeit that. I think they should flex a lot more than they do.
Yes.
I mean, just any other matchup could be better than some of these matchups, depending on like the later of the season. Like if the Colts are 1-14 and they're against the Texans that are 2-12, and that's the primetime game on Sunday Night Football, flex the crap out of that. Or if it's a Thursday
Yes.
night game, like flex the crap out of like we do not want to see that. And so I think the NFL needs to be a lot better about flexing those games, starting earlier in the season, even as well, because they typically don't wait until later in the season, and they
Yeah.
need to do that like right off the bat.
I don't.
Another thing
Yes.
I would be hesitant about is because I almost put the Jets on there, but I'm having PTSD with what happened with the Broncos. Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos. They immediately get like 5 primetime games because you think, oh, the Broncos are good, and they suck. Every single primetime the game they were in was freaking horrible. It was so bad. It was so bad. I
Yes.
don't think that's going to be the same thing that happened with Aaron Rodgers and Jets. I truly don't believe it, but I'm still just reserved about just shoveling all those primetime games for the Jets just in case something like that happens. I think
Yeah.
if you give them, maybe three or maybe 3 primetime games, and then obviously the ability to flex is important too, right? Just
Yes.
because you don't start off with X amount of primetime games doesn't mean you can't get there, and vice versa. I mean, the Broncos were so bad they flexed the Chiefs out of primetime last year. Like, you're flexing the Chiefs out of primetime because you're so bad. That's how bad you were that you had to flex the Chiefs out of primetime. So, crazy things can happen there, but the NFL just has to be better about flexing.
Yes, and I think the other thing is flexing is injuries. I remember one year, speaking of Russell Wilson, he was on the Seattle Seahawks. They were playing the Steelers on a Sunday night football game, and we had Mason Rudolph playing. I don't even remember who their backup was. Tim Boyle, I think it actually was, from Packers' old quarterback, and those were our two. Oh no, it was Brissett. He was and we're just like, what is going on here? We don't want to watch these backup quarterbacks play. So I think injuries, they need to start flexing. If this quarterback, Lamar, heaven forbid, tears his ACL, I don't want to see the Ravens in prime time 4 other times. Right?
Yeah.
Lamar is the reason we watch the Ravens. So I think that's the other thing that the NFL needs to do is flexing. Is if your team's still good, but they just lost their star power, you got to move them out of there. We want to watch the stars. The stars sell the game.
Nope, I agree 100%, 100%. So let's go to the flip side here then. Which team or teams should not be allowed on primetime?
Yep. I have a shorter list here. Arizona, Tennessee, Commanders. And I think the team that shouldn't be on primetime, I can't even think of a prime matchup, is Tennessee, right? Their division's not that good. If you want to feature the Jags or the Colts on primetime, they'll be playing other teams that are better. The Titans, they've got Tannehill, Derrick Henry's not fun to watch as a passing game. He's a running back. Their defense, right? They've got a bunch of kind of no names doing great work on that defense. I just don't think they have the star power. I think they're boring, and I don't think they're going to be very good. Unless Will Levis takes over the helm, I don't think the Titans deserve a primetime game.
I'm with you. I had the Titans and the Cardinals as my 2 teams.
Yes.
That they should not be allowed a primetime game. Obviously, the Cardinals they're going to be terrible because Kyler Murray is going to be out half the season. So you're going to go in and are you going to put in a later primetime game? Hopefully, Kyler Murray can come back. But I just think you're just hoping too much for that. And I just think the Cardinals they don't deserve a playoff or a primetime game. And the Titans, I'm with you as well. The Titans just don't deserve a primetime game. They're going to be a horrible team this year. None of their division. It's typically always like a Titans Jags game. That's like a Thursday night football. It's like a divisional game. So it's going to happen, right? Titans are going to at least get one. I think I'd be shocked even the Cardinals didn't at least get one. It's going to be some divisional matchup. Usually the Cardinals and Seahawks are on a primetime game. So there's going to be some divisional game that they have that's going to be primetime, and it's going to be horrible. And it's just going to be a horrible and tough to watch. And they should not be allowed. They should not be allowed a primetime game. Like if you're going to be sucky, like if we know you're going to be sucky, like right off the bat, you should not be allowed a primetime game. Obviously, if you turn out to be good, flex you into one, right? I'm not saying that can't change, but I'm just saying like going off the bat, like you should not be rewarded. Like primetime games are a reward, and you should not be rewarded, especially based on how you finished last year. Coming into this year, nope, I would not put
Yeah.
Titans or Cardinals on any network at all, any time of day.
Yes. Now there's one team I kind of wanted to talk about when we talked about primetime because I don't think they sucked last year. They didn't have a lot of they had a couple prime times, I think a Thursday night game or maybe a Monday night game. But the Atlanta Falcons, I think they deserve at least one. I think that team might be fun. As bad as that draft class was, we talked about they reach for things. Bijan, a rookie quarterback, Kyle Pitts, Drake London. Like, give us at least one of those guys to see if they're even fun. Arthur Smith is one of the smartest offensive kind of gurus in the NFL with how he runs the ball. So I think that'd be a fun team that kind of goes under the radar. But other than that, I don't want to see losing teams play primetime games, especially if they are. Put them against the good guys. Like, we don't want to see two losing teams beat up on each other.
Yeah. No, I think the Falcons. I wouldn't be mad for the Falcons to have a primetime game. I think they are going to be fun, and I think when you have a star power like Bijan, I think he's going to drive the Falcons like Saquon drove the Giants for so long. Bijan is going to be driving those Falcons, and so 100% they're going to get a primetime game. It's going to be the Bijan show. He's going to go off, and that's
Oh,
something
I love
important
it.
too. Teams have to don't have to, but they want that primetime game because all eyes are on them. They need to get more
Yes.
fans, get more viewers, get more people. When you see Bijan Robinson, run for 300 and 2 touchdowns, like those jersey sales are going to go up. And that's because it's
Yes.
on prime time. You have millions of people watching just that one game. And so definitely, yeah, Falcons should definitely have at least one primetime game for sure. I would agree with that because I think they are going to be fun. I don't think they're going to win a lot of games, but I think they're going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so finishing up here, I'll talk about schedule. Let's focus. What prime time is the best? Right, we have Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football, or Sunday Night Football. Which one of those do you think is the best prime time spot?
I think this is really, really easy. Like, I mean, you teed the ball up, drive it 300 yards, hole in one. You're waiting all day for it. It's Sunday night. It's Sunday night. You get the whole day to build anticipation, right? I love it when my team's on Sunday night football because I don't have to, I can watch whatever game I want. I can relax during the 1 o'clock and the 3 o'clock schedule that we have out, flip between different games, and then all eyes get whatever plate of food I'm eating, sit down, and I am not leaving the couch until football is done. Sunday night is the best. It's got the best announcer crew with it. It's got the best look to it, like with the graphics and stuff. Hands down the best.
I agree. It's Sunday night for sure. And this was like, I mean, I didn't have to think twice about this. It's Sunday night.
Yes.
I love it when Carrie Underwood sings it to me. Waiting all day
All
for
day for
Sunday
Sunday
night.
night.
Beautiful,
Beautiful.
beautiful. She's amazing. I love it. And like you said
Yes.
before, I love it. You're just the build up all day, like waiting for you can watch whatever game you want, and then just sit down and watch your game. The reverse side of why I hate Sunday night football is whenever my team loses during the day, it makes me not want to watch football the rest of the day. So that Sunday night game, I'm
Yeah.
like, fine, I guess I'll watch football because I'm still in my morning period. Um, but yeah, and it's typically the best games too. It's typically the best
Yes.
matchups are put on Sunday night, Monday night, Thursday night. Not bad
No.
spots, but Sunday night I think is the best. And I think too as well, just because I associate Sunday with football. Right?
Yes.
I'm not mad about having football on a Monday. I'm not mad about having football on Thursday. I actually enjoy it. It makes the week go by faster. I love watching it, but to me, football is a weekend thing, right? College on Saturday, NFL on Sunday, and so to me, that primetime game on Sunday is like the pinnacle, right? That's the night you want to be at.
Yes.
That's how you make it. As a team, you're popular. You're good for the league is when you're playing on Sunday Night Football because that's the best matchups. And so I agree, hands down, the Sunday Night Football is the best primetime spot.
Yes. Yep. Yep. I think Thursday, honestly, hot take. I think Thursday's second. As bad as the games are, Monday you're just getting over. If your team lost, you're still, you're thinking about that. And Thursday you're just getting in. You have all that excitement for the next week. So I don't mind a Thursday. I mean, it doesn't compare to Sunday, but I like Thursday night over Monday. And Monday now has the worst announcer crew leading them with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. So I try to stay away from, mute the TV when I'm watching Monday night. But
They have the Manning cast though.
that's true. That's a savior. That's a savior.
I like it. So it seems pretty simple. Let's do it. Start, bench, cut Thursday, Sunday, Monday.
All right. I'm starting Sunday, benching Thursday, and cutting Monday.